Hello friends! Today's video is inspired by a recent bout of fake insomnia that I've been suffering, which is to say that instead of falling asleep right away, it takes me 20 to 30 minutes to fall asleep. It's not real insomnia at all, I realize, but I find it very frustrating because I normally fall asleep at the drop of a hat. That's actually what my video is about today, falling asleep at the drop of a hat. Because I do it all the time. Since graduating, I haven't had to deal with falling asleep everywhere quite as much, which is nice, and hopefully it's part of growing up, so it will stay that way. But here's a few weird places that I have fallen asleep. Number one, I used to take the bus to and from school for all of high school and a significant portion of university. I was living in the suburbs at the time and I went to school in central Edmonton. It was a long transit. 45 minutes was a good day, so you can imagine how the bad days were. During those long bus rides, I usually liked to read or do homework sometimes, write or whatever, but a lot of my time actually ended up being spent sleeping. It didn't really matter what seat I was in or how I was positioned, I would inevitably fall asleep every ride. In fact, it was really disorienting when I didn't fall asleep on the bus because it felt like I had ruined part of my day. It was bad enough in high school that I sometimes depended on that half hour of sleep just to be awake in class for the first couple of hours of the day. Yeah, I was a great student. This carried on for about 5 years, so I was really practiced when it came to choir tour, when we would go around Alberta or BC or wherever and sleep on gym floors, which are not very restful. So I got to sleep a lot on buses during choir tour too, so I have a lot of practice sleeping on buses. Yay! Number two, sleeping at my computer desk. As a teenager especially, whenever I was at the computer for a few hours, especially if it was later at night, I had a habit of just drifting off and occasionally just straight up face planting into the keyboard. Not pretty. I have it set up now so that I can put my feet up and kind of angle myself backwards so I don't have to worry quite as much about keyboard face. So it definitely still happens to me sometimes, but hopefully that will get better. Number three, and probably the weirdest, is falling asleep on the floor in front of my parents' front door. There's some context to this. It's not just that I would crash on my way in the door. Usually I would get home from school and my cat would run to greet me, and it was very cute and I had to snuggle him because I'm me. And in the process of snuggling him, I would curl up around him and we would have pets and it would be cute, and then I would fall asleep because I was curled up around a hot oven cute fluffy thing. The real problem with this is that my dad would then come home an hour and a half later and he would find me curled up on the floor, but there would be no cat anywhere, so I was just sleeping in the middle of our doorway. I'm sure he had multiple heart attacks coming home to that, because it can't look good to find your child on the floor like that. Fortunately, I don't do that anymore, partly because they've made it linoleum instead of carpet now, so instead of curling up on the floor, I now sleep on the couch, or curl up in a chair, or somehow fit myself onto something cushioned. I'm also not there as often as I was since I don't live there anymore, so I'm a lot less likely to just have a nap. Although I think the last 3 times I did have a nap while I was there for dinner. However, chair naps and floor naps, they're just not the same. So napping on the floor of the doorway area in my parents' house will always have a happy place in my heart. So that's just a few of the weird places that I've fallen asleep in my life. If you've had any similar experiences with false narcolepsy, let me know in the comments. It would be great to hear from you, and I would love to hear that other people are just as weird as I am. Or if you just want to tell me how weird it is that I've fallen asleep all over the place, feel free to let me know that too. Otherwise, you could always like or subscribe or what have you. But either way, I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Bye.